Hi guys, this is lesson 2 in unit 7. We're going to talk about factoring a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. At the beginning of the year we learned how to multiply polynomials, and we looked at multiplying a binomial by another binomial, and we said that we can use the distributive property or double distribution to be able to multiply a binomial by another binomial. In this example, we have x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 11. We need to use double distribution to be able to expand this factored form into the standard form. So the first thing we learned to do is to multiply x by x, which gives us x squared, and then multiply x by 3 by x, and that would give us 3x. And it's called double distribution because you're going to have to use the distributive property again to multiply x times 11, which gives us 11x, and multiply 3 by 11, which gives us 33. And then from there, we look and see that we have two like terms, 3x and 11x. We put them together and we end up with 14x. So multiplying this binomial by another binomial gave us a trinomial. And this trinomial in the standard form is x squared plus 14x plus 33. So if we take a look at the binomials and the final trinomial, and we try to make a connection between, we will see that 33, which is the number at the end of the trinomial here, is basically the product of these two numbers, 3 and 11, because 3 times 11 is 33. And we can make another connection between the middle number in the trinomial and the numbers in the binomial, because 14 is the sum of 3 and 11. So usually the number in the middle is the sum of the numbers in the factors or the binomials, and the last number in the trinomial is the product. And sometimes this form is called the sum product form because it includes the sum and the product of the factors inside the binomials of the factored form. So now let's take a look at this example. We have x squared minus 5x plus 6. And we need to change this standard form into the factored form. And to be able to do that, we have to use factoring, because factoring is the inverse or the opposite of double distribution. So to be able to factor, I have to use the information that I got or that I learned from our previous example to be able to factor this trinomial. I learned that the last number is the product of the two numbers inside the binomials, and the middle number here is the sum of the numbers in the binomials. So I have to think of two numbers. If I multiply, I get 6, and if I add, I get -5. So my choices are either 2, 3 or 6 and 1. So I'm going to work with 2 and 3 first. And then after that, if I need to work with 6 and 1, I'll do that. So we know that 2 times 3 is 6, but 2 plus 3 is 5, and not negative 5. So 2 and 3 are not going to work. At the same time, I noticed that we have a positive sign with the 6, which means that the two numbers that I need to use has to have the same sign for the product to be a positive number. So this time I'm going to use negative 2 and negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is a 6, and negative 2 plus negative 3 is a negative 5. So this is the combination of numbers or the factors that I need to be able to write my binomials. That's why I'll be able to end up with two binomials. The first binomial is going to have a negative 3 in it, and the second binomial is going to have negative 2 in it. So the x squared minus 5x plus 6 in the standard form can be factored into x minus 3 times x minus 2. Now let's take a look at this example. We have x squared plus 2x minus 8. Again, we have to factor to be able to change the trinomial into the factored form. And I'm going to use guess and check again to be able to factor this trinomial, because looking at this trinomial, I know I don't have a greatest common factor between the terms. I know that I'm not going to be able to use the difference of perfect squares. That's why my next choice is guess and check to be able to factor this trinomial. I learned that negative 8 is the product of the two numbers in the binomials, and 2 is the sum of the numbers in the binomials. The factors that I can think of that can help me get to negative 8 is 2 and 4, and or 8 and 1. Now let's work with 2 and 4 first. Since the sign with 8 in this trinomial is a negative, that tells me that one of the two factors is going to have a negative sign while the other is going to have a positive sign. So if I use 2 and 4, 2 times 4 is going to be 8, which is not the right combination of factors, but I know that one of them has to be a negative one, and the other one has to be positive. So I'm going to change the sign of 4 into negative 4. So now I have 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8, which is exactly what I need. But 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2, which is not what I want. I want 2 to be the sum of these two factors. So now I'm going to have to think about the other choice that I have, which is negative 2 and 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and negative 2 plus 4 is 2, and this is exactly what I need, which eliminate my other choice of factors, 8 and 1. So x squared plus 2x minus 8 in the factored form is going to be x plus 4 times x minus 2.